Yes, I'm going to compare the river and the mind of a, on one hand, the worldly person, like regular folks are, and then the people who are doing yoga in a mindful way. Okay, so it's like a something practical I talk about with my colleagues and my workers and my executive branch and all that, right? Many of them really complain of this information overload, mind, brain fog, uh, overwhelm, stress, and burnout. And the main problem with the doctors is the EMR documentation and increasing loads of data. That's all pretty much in all the fields now. Um, to some extent, the AI is helping people for a lot of these data problems in that way. But then the general trend is increasing gathering of data, and the data is causing the problem. Okay, so basically, what it is if you go and take a look at the rivers that are in different seasons, right? You go in the fall or when the rainy season, they will be at their fullest speed, and then they will be at a speed that is dangerous, really. And because it is flowing with a lot of dirt collected, it is not pretty to see the muddy water going at that space, which I have seen close quarters, just standing on the edge of the banks. I have seen those rivers. They're pretty violent and pretty noisy and pretty, we all know that. So dirty, not clear, not pure, and dangerously flowing with a vast speed. That is the mind of a regular day to day person that is engulfing in the data and the rush of many thoughts. Let's put it that way. Whereas if you go and check something like in the winter time when everything is slowed, icy, and you can see through the top to the bottom of the river. That's pure, and also it's not at all violent because there are hardly any water, and the water is flowing very slowly, right? So this is the comparison that comes into regular life. And now, how can you choose this kind of stable, steady, pure mind where negative thinking is not there, too many thoughts are not there, and you are mostly aware, and then you can choose what you want to think, how you want to think, how long you want to think, whether you want them in a positive tone, in an uplifting tone. That is the training that you can get from the any standard yoga practice, right? Yoga is not just physical. That's something I just want to put it away first. It is about the mind. It's about the thoughts. It's about awareness. It is about how you can be consciously thinking about something, right? So I thought this this kind of description is illustrative of what it is when it is running pretty fast, how it can be dangerous because people don't pay attention to what they are doing and they may do mistakes, and also thoughts like that take a lot out of you energy wise, and then you feel exhausted. I know people who are really suicidal because the thoughts are so many, and you can see that somebody shoots in their head. Why they do that is because they can't veil those thoughts. They could be negative pretty deep, or they could be constantly giving them headache, and then they're not able to shut it down. I know one CEO in our hospital way back in 2010 to, I think she was in 8 to 10. She was there at the time of that implementation of EMR, and we got close together. And she confided to me how she was not able to sleep because of this number of meetings she had every day, and she was not able to shut her mind. Not anything problem, but just not able to shut them down. Then I helped her with a couple of exercises I recommended. I think you will find them interesting because one exercise was what do you do when you wake up with your mind? And another exercise was what do you do when you go to bed at the end of the day? Okay, these two exercises I kind of taught her, and then I made her do them, and she had some relief of that. Okay, but then she was not able to do other things that I told her. But then she was much better, able to sleep, able to have some rest, and all that. The number one exercise was just upon waking. When you wake up, what do we normally do? We immediately reach out for the phone or some device we have to see what is coming up, what is the agenda, or what is the weather, or what is the news, or maybe I don't know. Maybe some people are checking on the social media, or just checking out something funny, whatever, right? These days, everybody is reaching out for the phone and all that. Uh, More than that, what happens to your mind, even if you don't have the devices? Do you take a moment to really be in the present, or do you allow the first thought come in, and the first thought leads to second thought, it happens very instantly, not that much time also. But general tendency is people allow thoughts to go on their own, and they form a network of thought. They may not know all of that, but that is the mechanism it happens, right? So what I want to do is delay that onset of that thought initiation. That means you don't want to engage in that I thought, right? And what you want to do is you want to be in the life. What is happening now? Where am I? What is the day like? Is it dim or is it bright? Is it wintry outside or is it raining outside? What's happening to the life of the plantation around me? What is happening with the pets? What's happening with our own, you know, relatives or spouse, children, and all that, right? Not judging them, not saying they should be like this, but just pay attention to them and delay that onset of thought. That's what I thought. The longer after you wake up, you can put away the thought, the better it is for you. One step ahead. Once you have accomplished this, what I do with my wellness club, what I do with myself is I want to establish myself in the present moment and stay there and practice that in the first 1 hour as much as possible. For us, it is the yoga class. See, my yoga class begins, and then I teach my students to be here and now and cultivate that for that entire 1 hour. So I call that hour an hour of awareness. So they come, and then we kind of aid with the deep breathing or with the repeated telling be here and now, focus on what you are doing. Suppose they are doing a physical posture, and I want them to do that, but then be aware of what is happening in their body with the stretch. Suppose I want them to lift up left hand and dip into the right side, and neck also, head also goes that way. But then feel what is happening on the left side of the chest, left side of abdomen, the stretch. Be with the stretch. Breathe into the stretch. So that kind of bringing him to what is happening here and now. That is the training I give the entire hour. No entertainment, no discussion, no casual talking, no bringing in also politics and all that. But that 1 hour is really dedicated to make us come into the present. So once you have done that, then you carry that presence, that kind of thing you have. I know American life is involved in chit chat, involved in gossip, involved in relating to something, all those things. Innocent, not really anything. But then you may be losing the opportunity to be focused. So that is the problem with all the data, everything flowing around is distraction from what we are doing. Not able to concentrate reasonably, not able to be attentive to what you are doing. So in the morning, 1 hour, you have that awareness 1 hour, and then carry that as a perfume through the day. That means whatever you are doing, you are playing with the kids, fine, be with them completely, enjoy that. Okay. Suppose you are with the office workers, fine, be with them. Suppose you are relaxing at a in a restaurant in the afternoon, maybe lunch, have a complete attention there. Like that, whatever you do, pay complete attention, you know and then at the end of the day, you settle down before you go to, this is a second exercise. What you do is you kind of in reverse order go back, like at the dinner time, what you did, before dinner, what you did, and then that coming to the home from work, for example, what happened, and what happened at the closing of the office, and at lunch, and when you come to the office, like that in reverse order. Go through the day, live it, and collect the reactions that you had, good or bad, whatever. You might have met an old friend, you have exchanged pleasantries, and you kind of have really had a good time. All of that, whatever positive, whatever negative reactions you had within your own mind and heart, go through them. And then what you want to do is don't cling to anything that you can do trivial, not need to. You can have the learning experience, but you don't want to, rake up all the data into your brain. Dump it straight away. That's simple. Then you have some important things that are you have to pay attention. Okay, list them, and list them in a paper or a device or wherever you write down the note, and then forget about that for the night. Put it aside. You can get back to it tomorrow, but then so these two exercises I recommended to my CEO, who was having 16, 17 meetings a day at the time. And she's always engaged with those meetings too, because her attention was needed, because the hospital was going through a major change and all that, right? But doing these exercises gives the neuroplasticity of the brain to work in favor for you. And also you're actively designing your brain in a way, so this is what the yoga tell you. And also yoga meditation is where you are sitting on the fire, and then your mind is like a milk, and all the things that were there, they come up, and then you kind of take the heat away, then all those things go like that. Suppose you are sitting in a posture with a straight back and closing your eyes and deeply breathe in and out, and then you allow all those buried thoughts, reactions, everything come up, and then let them clean up. So that kind of thing, if you can do it, the mind will lose that velocity of thoughts, lose the negativity of thoughts, lose the impurity of the thoughts, and also anything associated with that. Okay, so it won't be dangerous anymore. Otherwise, you will not have focus, and you will be scattered thought, and you won't be able to really accomplish anything, and you are exhausting a lot of your energy, and that's where you can make mistakes too. So this is why the worldly person who doesn't really want to focus his mind or do some, even if you are focusing just to earn livelihood, and then you are involved in a lot of thoughts, it doesn't work. Okay, but if you focus for the sake of focus, getting that mind to be concentrated, to be attentive, to be focused, then this Raja Yoga, we call it, that's called King of Yogas, where there are 8 steps, where first 2 steps are societal norms and the personal hygiene and all those things. And then third thing is the postures to make the body strong. And the fourth step is the breathing, you how you deal with your energy, all that comes in there. And the fifth one is what do you do with your senses? Withdraw them from the surroundings so that no more stimuli coming from surroundings. And then 6, 7, 8 are the real steps of the mind. And the mind will be concentrated. That is the sixth step. And seventh step is you go to one thought and then stay there, only with one thought. Okay. And then final step is you go beyond that one thought into absorbed silence. Okay, that's what you do in the morning, in the evening, but it's a big science there, but basically you kind of spend time in getting rid of all this gunk, all this junk, all these unnecessary things that are accumulating in the mind. You have a if you really understand the knack of it, if you really understand how you can do it, the time will be reduced. Initially, it may require 15-30 minutes to calm your mind, but then it will go down. So, like for example, for me, it doesn't take any time. The moment I wake up, I'm in awareness, I'll continue that. So I don't have to meditate because I kind of went over all that. Okay. Many people are like that. They don't have to meditate. They are happy go lucky people. They do what. But then of late, many people are succumbing to this information overload. That's my concern. Of late, people are not really protecting the kids from this distracted world. By plan, people are making these kids exposed to many distractions in a short time. Social media does that, and all the marketing people do that. And I mean, their job is to get your attention at a price for you, because they will say, "Oh, I'm doing everything free," but no, they are taking your attention. And this is a concern for the parents, for the teachers, and for the policymakers, because they have detected the problem with this lack of attention on the kids, how it is mushrooming into major problems later on. Mental health deterioration, a lot of it is because of this unawareness of a dangerous mind you could develop that is fast, with so many thoughts, dirty, impure, and also negative, right? And then it can make mistakes. That's why it is dangerous. Okay. I hope that makes some sense to you guys, because this is very important for me to help people, and I do engage people in this sort of exercises and make them do that. There are so many other ways that you could calm down, but then basically breathing, basically being aware of this, and eventually it's not about controlling thought, it's about understanding the efficacy of thought function. How many can we say that they know that term? What is efficient one doesn't mean control, doesn't mean snubbing it down or beating it down. That's not it. What it is what is the role of thought where? Is the thought involved in your interior or outward things? That is the distinction you have to make. And then once you use the thought, um, keep the learned experience from the thought, and then rest of it, don't cling to it. That is the yogic way. So I kind of go and do my work, and I may have some experiences, I may have learned some lessons. I want to retain the lessons, learned experience, but I don't want to remember all the particulars, all the frills around it. So I kind of uncling them. I don't cling to them. That's it. I do. Then each patient I see, I'm completely focused. I will absorb the material. I will see the history, labs, and all those things. But then I say, okay, he needs to have an opinion by the radiologist about this CAT scan or whatever. Then I'll wait for the report. But otherwise, everything is washed up. If you can practice that, then you don't have to accumulate unnecessary things. And at the end of it, you don't have to clean it up. Okay. But mind is so quick, so electric, so um, unconscious, like, right? People think, oh, my thoughts come on their own. My thoughts, I don't know where they come. That's where you understand what is cyclical thought. How does it form a cycle? So you can start with how do you have a stimuli for a thought? Either your senses have seen something, heard something, or something. That means something outside the stimuli coming into you, right? That's one way to initiate the thought. Or you have so many memories buried in you, and one of those memories comes for some reason. It could be an anniversary, it could be a birthday, it could be a celebration of something, or it could be a long lost friend called, something like that. Any memory that you it will wake up, and then they come. So what happens? All those ripples give you thoughts, right? Either way, stimuli and all those things, they form the thought. This is called vrittis in Sanskrit, right? And then you receive the stimuli, you have initiated the thought, or the brain has initiated the thought, and then you pursue the thought, and that leads to another thought, that leads to another thought. First, second, then that is how the network is formed. And you are unaware of all these things because you are really focusing on something else right away, and you something else, they are doing multitasking and all that, right? Then that has become the cultural thing. Then what happens is all that thoughts, they go into your subconscious because you have not made an attempt to uncling or finish it off or completely done with it. So what we teach is observe the thought, don't fight it, don't indulge in it, don't suppress it, just observe it so that it will have its career, like it has the birth and travel and go. So I use the term, watch it like you watch a cloud in the sky. So these days in Iowa, we have a lot of murky clouds, and then we can't see anything traveling. But in tropical country, anywhere if you are there, you can see a blue sky, and you can see the clouds moving fast sometimes from one place to other place. Right? So you watch it, right? You do that, and then if you do that, if you end the thought, it will not go into your subconscious. And if it goes into the subconscious, or you are unconscious about all things, these things go and settle down as what's called samskaras. And then those samskaras come back again as vrittis. So vrittis first, they become samskaras, and they're coming back again. This is the cyclical thought that goes on. All because you are unconscious of all this when this is happening. But if you are conscious of the vrittis that you are having, you finish it off, there is no chance of them going into the subconscious. That is how you have a clarity of mind. That's how you have a presence of mind. So once you have it there, then you are going to think consciously. This is what I'm going to think about this. This is a project. So you can really divide that like that. And then once you are done with it and put it away. So you have to learn how to not indulge in thought unless you want it. And then you have to learn how to not to cling to the thought. And then you have to learn how to finish off a thought when it comes and it takes over you, right? So those kind, it's a very subtle thing, it's a very difficult thing, but the more you ruminate on this, the more you close your eyes and observe the thought without indulging us. See, one of the problem is many of the Western ancient or even modern, they have a different way of understanding this, because modern mind is geared to think it's all intellect. However intellect I am that. You know, that Rene Descartes saying, "I think, therefore I am." That kind of started this. But if you look at all the people who are enlightened, who have gone, they always tell you thought is only one faculty. Intellect is that. But that is going outward. Senses going outward. But when you don't have any thought, you have moment of silence, you're sitting down, you are not in thought, but you are aware. In awareness, thoughts happen. In awareness, thoughts happen. I'm not saying you accept that, examine that, go into that, find out the truth of it. And for me, the truth is I am aware, that's why thoughts happen. Thoughts happening in my awareness is a fact for me. Nobody need to convince me on that. I don't want to convince anybody, but that is what it is for me. So I want to be what I am really. What I am is that awareness, and really think consciously. In awareness, I'm going to be. In awareness, I'm going to use consciously thinking about something and do that, and not to cling to anything. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. Anybody wants to come up and participate in this discussion? That will be good. Christina, Julie, Susie, Hakim, Jennifer, Greg. Okay. Hi, Jacob. Jacob came on the clubhouse.
Jacob, bonjour. Hello, everyone.
Bonjour. How are you? Hey. Alma, come up. Uh, Alma is also appeared on that. It just uh, I was talking about uh, consciously thinking and all that. Um, you guys came just when I'm finished my description. I don't mind explaining to you briefly. Hi, Alma. How are you?
Doing well, Dr. Rao. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great, actually. So I was trying to help people with information overload, too much thinking, and not able to sleep, and not able to conduct relationships properly. So many ways people come to this problem, and then that becomes our topic. I was telling about a CEO of my hospital who was a close friend of mine. She was doing 16, 17 meetings a day at one time. It was 8 or something. Then she asked me that she is not able to rest and sleep at night. All these things are going in her head and keeping, she can't quiet her mind, basically, right? Then I told her two couple of exercises that she could do. I was describing that. But the title of this room is River and the Mind, right? Uh, I was comparing how a river can be, in the rainy season, pretty aggressive flow with the dirty water, impurified, and then also it's dangerous. If you go there, you'll be swept off. Okay, and the same river in winter time slows down considerably, kind of clear, kind of pure. You can see the bottom of the river easily, and it's slowed down so much it's not dangerous at all. So a worldly person, whoever it could be chief of anything, or it could be a normal person, laborer, whoever it is. These days, because of the speeding up the thought in so many ways, and so many things are there to distract us, we are not able to control the thought mechanism, and it has become like that wild river, and it is dangerous because people are not able to focus and do their job. I mean, sophisticated people, people who have means to rest up or do meditation, all that, they may be doing that. But the point here is how is yoga can make you that calm, quiet, pure river that slow goes slow, and you have real peace of mind there. Okay. So I was explaining to them what is cyclical thought, what is awareness, how can you be in the awareness and use the conscious thought. So far, that's all that we did up to maybe 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, 30 minutes and 15 seconds on the SteamYard screen. That tells me. Any comment from you guys?
I know it was fascinating, Dr. Rao,
Yeah,
how you are able to provide the value of even just the perspective of we do. I was thinking about information overload, and
yeah,
I was like, yes,
yeah,
just to all
yeah.
of that.
I mean,
That's
it's
me. Like
a
your friend have that many meetings. I don't have that many meetings, but I have that many things at once, and
yeah, yeah,
it's overwhelming. So it's good to have
yeah,
specific time allocated to
yeah.
come down to basic.
Yeah. I also talked about a couple of solutions. Let me describe them. Maybe they will appeal to you. I for my friend, what I told her was, when you get up in the morning, don't jump on the wagon of the thought express or thought network. Right? I wanted her to delay from the time she woke up to the time the first thought happens. Right? So my solution is pay attention to the life around. That is in the morning. In the evening, I told her, review the whole day in reverse order and see what has happened, what are the things that you want to keep the learned experience and dump all the other data. You have to do that daily, otherwise it becomes very tough to do it. And then when you do it, also the you don't count the benefit and all that. You just want to keep the mind in the present moment. These two exercises she did, she had some help, and then later on I gave her so many other things for her sleep too. But right now, it is a real problem even with students, with youngsters. And that is the concerning thing, because these kids are growing up distracted. Really, they are not able to keep the phone away. My daughter would kill me if I take the phone away from her. So what's the consequence of that? That's why I taught her to do a couple of ways of my ways of getting the mind under control, at least at the time when she had to do something important. But I also taught her how to enjoy herself when she is with her friends and doing all that carefree and all. But these days, these kids have thinking so much. Like you said, Alma, they are doing so many things at the same time. So I'm trying to teach her, which is my habit is I only do one thing at a time. But I accomplish a lot more at the end of the day than the people who are thinking that by doing multitasking, they achieve more. I had a mini contest with so many of my colleagues, and I always won because my focus is there, my attention is there, and then my energy is really saved because I'm not going after everything that comes in my purview. Make sense?
Definitely does. And I'm about to, when I'm hearing this and I'm thinking of myself and how do I stretch myself many times with
Yeah.
multiple tasks, that some of them are unnecessary and some of them are necessary, but I have to prioritize, and
Yeah.
this actually helped me to kind of think of
No, no,
more
Alma, I will give you the
small.
technique. I will give you technique, and then you will able to do that. It's not that I don't do things in time. It's only that those 4 or 5 tasks that we are doing, I bring my attention to one task at a time. So suppose I'm writing a pen something and a phone call comes, or I have to look at a screen and all that, right? Each particular thing there I said is a task for me, and I'm only focusing. I'm trying to be focused on that one task only. Say like a juggler. For example, juggler is there. He's kind of juggling 4 or 5 balls. It looks like he's kind of doing all the balls together. No, if you really go down and then slow him down and see it, he's catching the ball, only one ball at a time. See? So you are writing something and something comes up, you want to do that. Part of the attention going to the second is the problem. Keep the attention completely on this task as you are doing it, and it will be done in time. Probably it will be done with quality. Then you shift to the next task. It becomes difficult in the beginning, but then you deliberately divide the time and do that. And as you pick it up, then all those things, when basically you don't want to distract yourself from what you are doing. That's all you have to learn.
Wow, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, apply that. Tomorrow you can apply that, and tonight you can apply that and see. All you have to pay attention now is, am I paying attention or am I allowing my attention to be distracted? Okay. For example, you are eating, right? And you are eating maybe salad first, the main course, then the dessert and all that, right? So you are doing only one thing at a time, and also when you're eating one bite at a time. Are you savoring that bite? Are you chewing that bite? Are you really aware of how you are swallowing it? For that, what is needed is you got to eat in silence. You got to not to be distracted by somebody else discussing something, and you are responding to that.
For
So,
sure.
yeah, only one rule I tell in my office, in my home, for everybody is pay attention to every action that you do. That action could be um, like you're a nurse, you go and see a patient, right? When you go and see the patient, what do? You greet the patient, you contact eyesight, then you take the hand, give a shake hand or some kind of gesture, and then you may sit by the patient and you may want to take the blood pressure, whatever you will tell him and you do it. All these are tasks, and whatever you do, you complete attention, you do that. Not like, oh, this is all routine, I'll come and do it and go. That is the problem. That's how we are getting our this attention really destroyed. So you stay in attention rather than you allow the attention to go away.
It's true. We focus on the task
Yes,
sometimes.
yes, yes. And just only one task at a time saves a lot of it. There's another thing people miss is when you are allowing yourself so distracted, so many thoughts take away so much of your energy. That's why I don't get tired at the end of the day. Other people get tired. The people who are working with me, they get tired. So that is the incentive for me because I don't have to go through the headaches or brain fog or any of that. Like I am doing this room, after this room is done, whatever the learned experience, only I will return. Rest of it, I'll forget it. It is recorded. If somebody wants, they can listen to it and all that. But I forget about that. Suppose some obnoxious figure comes into the room and he kind of being rude to one of my colleagues or whoever is my friends here, and he kind of abuses them. And we usually have an emotional reaction, right? But then I kind of don't allow myself to be run over by that. I may have it, but then I will observe it. Then it will go down. Then I will say the take control whose fault it is, what it is to be done. I may dismiss him from the room. I may console my friend, and I'll ask them just don't pay attention to that. That kind of thing. The same thing can happen at the hospital or wherever we're working, right? So allowing yourself to the reactions takes away a lot of energy. But when the situation happens, watch the reaction. Don't do that. but respond to that. You got to resolve it, right? So, does this sound normal, or is there something extraordinary I'm saying? Tell me.
Definitely will. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao. I'm going to leave the room, but I really appreciate all your input in all your rooms.
Very
Thank
good. Very
you.
good. It made sense at least to somebody. That's good. Okay. So, Jacob, what do you think?
I don't have many thoughts. I'm
Good.
just,
Good.
yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm trying to absorb.
Yeah.
Not just hear the words, but like absorb
Yeah.
it, and especially interpret it into my own behavioral processes.
Yeah.
Because everybody has their own kind of
Yeah. But I'm talking
unique
about in
package of
general.
stuff to deal with.
Yeah. In general, what is happening out there is generally a worldly person will have this kind of rapid thought, dirty thought, negative thought, and also dangerous for him, and that is getting worse with this information overload. And people are not paying attention sometimes because they think if I can get this thing done, let me use all the things that I have, and then they subject themselves to this information overload negative effects. Okay, I deal with so much information too. By definition, I'm an informatician. So I deal with the information in so many ways, right? But because I knew about this right from the beginning, so I was able to, learn this safety behavior on my part. And also, the important thing is, I realize we have awareness to begin with, and in that awareness, thoughts happen. So once I have that, then I'm always in the awareness and then use thought consciously. That has become the norm now for me. You know.
Practice.
Yeah. Many people do not agree that awareness is the fundamental thing in which our feelings, our thing of thinking, all that happens. I will tell you a story. There is this Janaka way back in ancient times. This man is a tremendous, warrior, and he kind of accumulated a lot of land around him, right? Those times, people used to come and declare war for nothing, just to get your land and get your cattle and all that, right? So, in the middle of the night, the servant comes and wakes up. King, king, get up! What happened? Oh, this enemy king has declared war on us. He's at the door front, and he's here. So this man dresses up and then takes his sword and goes out, and they have a fierce battle. And unfortunately, this man gets defeated. So other king drags him and puts him in chains, and then abandons him from his kingdom and throws him out. So in an instant, he became a pauper, right, a beggar. And then he goes out, and then he's thrown out of the kingdom. Nobody wants to give him any food or anything. And finally, he comes up with a line where the food people are giving the food, and he comes to the front of the line finally, and they say, "Oh, we are run out of food. We don't have anything." Oh no, they say, at least give me the scrapings. So they scrape the bottom of the pot and then gives him something, and he was able to eat it. Then an eagle comes and knocks the plate out of his hand. And then he kind of rolls on the floor and says, oh my God, what is happening? So he's really miserable, right? And then suddenly he wakes up. He was never in a battle. He was never in a, uh, you know, real losing. He's actually in his own palace. Everything is preserved. So he had a dream, right? In the dream, he lost his kingdom and all. But the dream was so vivid, he was doubting, is this real or that dream was real? He was really genuinely confused because that's so real it felt like, and his emotions, his everything, right? So he has that question, and he goes to the the place where he administers everything, and his office, and everybody he asks, he's seeing this continuous, he's really genuinely confused, is this all real or that was real? Then this sage is known to resolve this kind of very difficult questions. He comes and then he says, "What is going on with you, king?" This man says, "This is what how it happened. I saw that war. I thought that was real, and then I woke up and suddenly I'm here. All that is real. Others a dream. So, but it seems so real. What is real, sir? Is that dream real or is this reality real?" Then he says, see, when you are in that dream, what it was is your awareness of the dream was real, not the dream. Here, you are aware of this surroundings, everything. Your awareness is aware of that. So that awareness, either in the dream or here, is real. Rest of it is not real. That was a very important lesson for many people to understand, especially human beings, because we have this intelligence, we can remember things, and hi Cecil, we can remember things or we can imagine things. That intelligence that we have leads us to lots of scientific discoveries, or really understanding about nature and all that, right? But when you don't use that intelligence properly, which is what we are doing with the information overload, lack of attention, all that, that can hurt us also. You see, that's why we have to think about how is that we are going to handle this flow of thought, like a bad river or dangerous river, or can we slow it down? Can we take handle of that? See, the all the meditations, all the calming down techniques, without taking any drugs, if you can understand the mechanism of thought, construction of thoughts, and proper use of conscious thought in awareness is my solution. For me, I learned from the systems, but right now that is the that is the solution for a lot of this. Because I'm an informatician, I have to understand what's happening with the proliferation of all this technology, which is also being used to distract us. Especially the kids, they are not able to focus, and that's a big problem in their emotional resilience, and also really learning ability or relating to people. You see, we used to have the ability to converse, ability to stay with each other, have that friendly confidence, all those things. I think my age group, everybody knows about it. When we don't have even telephones and all that, we spent the time with people, and then we enjoyed that. But lately, these kids are conversing through the chat box, right? They are not conversing face to face. Even they sit on the sofa, I see they are chatting with the phone. So that's kind of a dangerous sign. There was a study. This was done in the teenagers from the 2014 to 2018, I think, after the smartphone has come and many young girls took it. This was Instagram was blamed for this. The suicidal rate in that age group, especially the girls, it went up 189%, provoked by Instagram way of doing things. This was Politico. They published it. I think Jonathan Haidt was the author. You can go and check it if you want. That is a very important study and very concerning. Because we hear about the suicide in the clinic all the time. People come and complain about it, and then it become like a more like an infectious disease. In that school that I was in the small town that I had the practice, they had many people committing suicide. So we had to take it pretty serious. Actually, the loneliness has been an epidemic. The suicide has become really big deal these days. So we as parents, I think we should pay attention to that. What do you think that, Jacob?
Sheesh. I'll say the story that you shared
Mm.
about the awareness being real.
Yeah.
I like that. That made me think of. I started thinking of magic and illusions.
Yeah.
And people still go to magic shows
Yeah.
knowing that it's magic, but
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's more about the I don't know how best to say that, maybe magnitude and style of
Yeah.
the perception rather than the thing itself.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't know what is the critical thing that we missed, and that's why that kind of doesn't make sense. But it looks like it happened, so it shouldn't be happening like that, but it has happened. So we are wondering the wonderment, that's important, I think, the magic. So, but unfortunately, this data proliferation is going to be more because we're going to collect much more data, and a lot of this data will be absorbed by us. A lot of it is unnecessary data also, and that will tax our minds. So these measures, I think, are going to be important to learn. Say how to get up in the morning, how to be in the present, how to pay attention to simple tasks, and how to not to accumulate all sorts of junk in our head. Something you are studying, something you are seriously looking for answers, that's all fine. But then this gossip, this unnecessary things, just feel good thing, some of them are really, you have to dump it at least. I recommend once a day you got to empty your mind. At the end of the day is much better. By the way, I call that vacating the mind is vacation of the mind for the day. That is that's pretty possible, Jacob. You can lie down and take some few minutes. Actually, I said it takes a little bit of time in the beginning, but later on the time goes down. Is like now for me, it only takes few seconds to empty my mind completely, and then I do what is called sleep on my being, not on my thoughts and the mind. So that's a different matter. That's a big topic. But basically, cleaning off and just with one stroke, everything is taken out of. First of all, movement to movement, I don't accumulate. So at the end of the day, there's nothing really to throw away. Even if something is there, there's just for that movement, and then they are thrown away. So you can come to that kind of practice. You can be functioning, you can use all the data, all the knowledge that we require for the task, but this attention to every task makes us not to accumulate from task to task. So it is easier at the end of it to eliminate it. This is what we call moment to moment awareness, not thinking, moment to momentary awareness. This is like a choiceless awareness that we are endowed with, but we mess it up with overlapping with the thinking mind. That is the secret of ancient practices, and why the modern thinking, even though it has some external achievements, doesn't have hold for the mental health. That doesn't work. So I use the awareness based practices compared to thought based practices of the modern times, which is not working for the health of the mental health anyway. We are getting worse and worse and all that. But people don't know when to switch thought to outward things, and do not depend on thought for the inward things. Depend on the intuition, depend on the awareness. That is, people are not in awareness to begin with, unless they want to do something. They want to bring in to be aware, to be here and now what I'm doing. they are not habitually like that. They are. There should not be. There it should be natural to be in awareness. That's choicelessly there. It's not something that you can cultivate. It is there, but you are doing some obstacles for that awareness, which is fundamentally our nature. Lots of times people want same mind, similar minds, and like-mindedness and all that. Like-mindedness is like a stopping at the mind, not going beyond the mind. So, anybody else has any questions? There are 10 people here uh, on the wisdom. Yeah, there are some people on the LinkedIn. Okay. So, what else is going on with you, Jacob?
Um, I heard an interesting perspective today
Yeah.
about. It reminded me of the fly and the honeybee.
Yeah.
But the individual called it the discipline voice, the discipliner, and the choice maker. And the discipliner is always watching the choice maker. And yeah, I thought that was fascinating. But there's still I like that categorizational dichotomy, but it's difficult to understand how the dynamics work, or for me to, I don't know.
No, just look at thoughts, observe them, and see, are they neat or not? Are they clean or not? Are they positive or not? If you can slow them, come to one thought, and go beyond the thought. Like suppose you have a negative about something, you could change by bringing something positive around it, about it, you know, in it, out of it, something positive. You deliberately direct your negative thinking into positive, then things will really look up. Hi, Santosh, how are you?
I'm good, doctor. What about you?
I am great. I'm great. Yes. We were talking about, yeah, we were talking about the mind, how we can keep it nice. So
Mind is very powerful, isn't it, doctor? Oh my God, mind is so powerful, so powerful. Yeah, that's why like coming to Clubhouse from 2.5 years nearly now. I'm June now, the 3 years in Clubhouse, and I pick the room where I'm going, and most probably I'm picking the best room in the morning. Like now, what time is it? About 12 o'clock in the morning. At 6 o'clock room. There is one very beautiful room. The guy they run from Boston-based American group, and they talk about all these things every day. They come up with a different topic, and in the morning we're just hearing about several things. So there are some rooms in the clubhouse. They are really really amazing room, and one of yours too. You are always giving all the values about the health and all these things. That's what we're talking in the morning about the health, how important health is, and I'm on that lane now because I'm very health conscious person earlier, but I'm more these days, like more than before. You know what I mean? Because what I realize is, people they are entrepreneurs. They work so hard to make money, to get succeed in life, and they compromise several things, several attributes of their life. And at the end of the day, they have money, they have fame, and all these things. Their health will deteriorate in a bad way. So, holistic way of thinking about your health is a very good thing, and I'm working on it, right? So, what sort of exercise you do, what sort of food you eat, what sort of to home you hang around, how you feed your brain in different things, like that makes big difference. That's what I'm finding.
um, my experience now, and I look at the people
Yeah.
around me like a lot of people are on that line. They are following the trend. Otherwise, you're going on one way. End of the day, you have money, you have fame, you have popularity, but you'll be
Yeah.
sacrificing your a lot of things. So
Yeah.
yeah, doctor. So I'm in your lane now. I'm just listening, and
Good.
just now I joined in. I was
See,
really busy
let
in the
me
morning. Yeah.
summarize about what Santosh was saying. See, too much of doing in the modern world that is really costing health for a lot of people. I talk about doing, but also attention to the being. You know that kind of balances thing. And my effort of wellness is four pillars, like a vital nutrition, optimal exercise, and quality sleep, and calming the mind. These four pillars, if you attend to as we work, as we achieve things and all that, we can. I go a little bit deeper in the intricacies of things, but that is my kind of my hobby, my kind of habit to learn these things and then um, share with people. But that's my pleasure, really, and also kind of a responsibility. Know what is going. Like I've seen patients who are very sick at 60, 50 years of age, and if they had done these health measures when they were young, probably they would not have that and then go through that suffering. So, like
Very
a,
true, doctor.
yeah,
Very true.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I,
very true, doctor. Yeah, yeah. That's what, like,
yeah,
that's why I'm learning from here, from your room, and here and there. That
yeah,
two things I was doing for a long time, right? The two
yeah,
things about what sort of message you're feeding on your brain and what
mm,
sort of exercise you are doing. These two things I'm establishing. There's two things. Whatever you said earlier,
mm,
out of that four, two I had already long time back, right? These two
good,
things
good, mm,
I'm injecting on my brain these days. So it's giving a lot of value. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like you can minimize your age that way, and you feel very calm and light, and you
yeah,
can think better than before,
yeah.
and you control your emotions and all these things. Yeah. So these four things, absolutely right, doctor.
Yeah.
Whatever you're saying, that's perfectly right. Yeah.
One of the other things I say is this health system should have more responsibility on themselves to bring these, good measures into the awareness of people, educate them, and provide them opportunities where they can take advantage of these things. One of the ideas I had was, why don't we have a wellness oasis in the hospitals? Like the wellness classes are for people who are coming into the hospital and then getting treatment. After the treatment, when they are going home, you can have go there and learn all the things that you're supposed to do to help yourself, and then take that along with you. With this data coming around with all these devices, is much easier to do. Don't expect people to go and find the data by themselves and then do that, but make it easier for them to get to that, make it easier to understand, make it easier to really live with all the challenges that are coming at us. That's what I'm working with the health systems, where I will be going as a chief wellness officer, for example. Then I want to collect data on these good health measures and then make the data be worked on by people, and the studies and the scientific conclusions, we will pass it on to everybody. So that is one of the things I'm doing now. It's important the health systems to take responsibility. Right now, they are all revenue based. Insurance run, drug companies run. But that has to change. Unless the awareness of the people change, that won't come into our work, probably.
Yeah, that's a good idea, doctor.
Yeah,
That's a good idea. I'm gonna do it because health
yeah,
should be coming in a priority
yeah.
always first. As
See,
people realize that
for
they
me,
already damaged their health, and they realize they start to realize a little bit late, and they
yeah.
regret themselves. So we do the
Oh yeah, oh
right thing
yeah,
in the right
yeah,
time,
yeah,
the
yeah.
right thing in the right
Mm.
time, so they can, prevention is always better than cure, isn't it, doctor?
Definitely. Now it is the not the prevention is the word. Beyond prevention, I call it proactive wellness. You can be well proactively in all these pillars I described about, For me, actually, wellness is not just for the individual, which we work on anyway. It is also for the health systems and the societies and for the planet. It's not exaggerated, but actually that is true, and then there are so many measures we can do that way. I'm very excited about the things that we could do, and then as the artificial intelligence comes up, we have to see AGI what it does. But there are plenty of opportunities to neurotechnology, nanotechnology, gene therapies, microbiome, and so many quantum bodies and all that. They're coming up, and personalized medicine will be much better. And then if you are really want to learn and apply these principles for the proactive wellness, that means Santosh now can diagnose something that is coming up in 10 years, and then examine his own lifestyles and then change them, because the epigenetics can be changed with the lifestyle changes.
And doctor, what about are you following that the Ambani is waiting in India? What's happening? Have you following what's happening there?
Yeah, that guy is a very obese person, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I know. He got like once he came on the proper proper shape with a lot of exercise and back to again he
yeah,
became big now. There's some sort of disease that
yeah.
uncurable disease or I don't know. I haven't gone through in detail, but it looks like he has
But
something wrong there.
in general, our obesity thing has become epidemic. Even the younger, I have seen patients up to 10 years age very obese. You know, um, people I did refer them some of the for the bypass surgery, and lately there are medications that are each medication costs like $1,000 to $1,500 per month. You know, and
Wow.
so what they are doing, because they're so costly and the supply is so limited. Novartis in Copenhagen, Denmark, it is there. Eli Lilly also joined and all that, but the supply of the medication is so low. They are doing what's the compounding the material, and then some pharmacies in the United States are also making them, and they are giving it a cheaper price of 300. But they have lot of side effects. Even the original drug has a lot of side effects. Those people are complying. So I wrote a book on obesity. It's a ebook where non-invasive measures, like in yoga, yeah, there are ways to stimulate metabolism, and there are ways to not to stuck with the body image. Like I apply all these holistic measures, not just also how to handle your increased appetite, how to not to curb this taste. All those things are yogic principles. I brought them in, but I wrote a book probably to help the obese people.
Doctor, do you know one room? The one lady, her name is Susie. She runs from Denmark. She was
Yeah, yeah, I know.
one and
Yeah,
a half or you know that room, right?
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
Okay,
know.
that's what I'm saying.
The
Like
medical
they talk about
med tech, I
medtech.
think
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
med tech room. Yeah, I know.
medtech room. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Wow, that's good, doctor. That's
yeah,
good. Yeah, you are doing great.
yeah,
So you are helping people to know about their health and living a holistic way of life. And
yeah,
these are the things we can do from here. That
yeah.
so yeah. So I'm going Nepal next month, and there's 29 days to go now, and I'm very
Okay.
excited. I'm gonna see Pasupati Nath, Sri
Yeah,
Pasupati Nath Ki Jai, and Swayambhu, Bauddha Stupa, and I'm planning to go Pokhara. I'm
yeah.
planning to see my 99 years old grandmother in
Ah,
the
okay.
Indian border side, like 41 kilometer from border from there, Rohtak. That's
Good. Yeah, good. Good.
Bergania is the border
Enjoy
South
yourself.
India,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
so
I think it's time for us to
very
close
excited.
down here, because I was here of more than an hour. And anything else, Jacob?
No, just
Okay.
great,
Yeah.
great time. Nice to see everyone.
Okay. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow again. Okay. I was doing a morning group too these days just to be helpful, for half an hour or something like that. So that time varies a little bit according to the meetings I have and all that. But evening one, I kind of kept it free so that I can come and talk here. Thank you. I will
So,
see you. Yeah.
doctor, you have some government responsibility type of thing. You do some government hospital work, or just you are independent doctor
Oh,
kind
I
of a
was
thing.
always independent. I had my own practice for 40 some years.
Okay.
So, and right now,
Okay.
I have an online company. I do everything
Okay.
online now. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's good, doctor. Nice to know. Nice to know
okay.
about that. And thank you very much for your help.
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Bye, Jacob. Let's see.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, and wisdom or whatever you call now. Okay. Bye bye.